I hope yeah, looks like we got a microphone here. Hey guys, welcome back. I really appreciate the new subscribers. If you look on my shorts, you'll kind of see what I do for a living during the day. I'm a heavy equipment mechanic slash truck slash anything from a weed whacker all the way up to earth moving equipment, and that's just what I do for a living. But I just want to say thank you to the new people. This is a learning curve for me, mainly because I've never done YouTube. I kind of shy away from cameras, so it, I really appreciate the support, and I hope to bring a lot more content out there, kind of explaining and showing basically how to do this stuff in your backyard. You don't need a fancy shop. You don't need a fancy lift. All this stuff is kind of obtainable. A lot of it is specialty tooling. You don't need a bunch of specialty tooling for a lot of stuff. And in some cases, you do. You will need a torque wrench. Uh, Whether you borrow one from a friend or you can go to all the major brands. I don't think Napa rents tools out, but like AutoZone, uh, stuff like that. They'll rent you tools. You just pay cash or whatever for like a rental fee, and when you're done, you bring it back. Um, I did that for years because I couldn't afford a lot of this stuff, and that's why the channel's called Broadcast Motorsports. You know, I try to do things on a budget and a dime. It's just a passion of mine. I really love projects, and I can't sit still because of ADHD. But in this video here, this is the part two of our axle install. So a lot of this video is explaining and showing how to prep, clean, install seals. You know, if it, Harbor Freight is going to be your friend if you don't want to spend a lot of money on this stuff. But this axle swap could be done if I didn't spend all that time cleaning and prepping and doing stuff. You could literally install the axle if somebody was like, "Oh, it's ready to go." Obviously, some people you can't trust, and that's the downfall of purchasing parts throughout the years and spending time doing this stuff. This could be done in a weekend. It could be done with a couple buddies. It could be done by yourself. You could pull it in on a Friday evening, say 4 o'clock, and have it rolling by Sunday. But for me, I'm going to put a large emphasis on make sure you have most of your stuff, mainly U-bolts. If the tie rods are bad and you know they're bad, get them ready. The next video will be of me installing, the axle shafts and wheel bearings and kind of showing you guys how to do bearing races and packing the bearings with good grease, changing wheel seals, stuff like that. So in this one, I made sure that we were ready to go so we can install the axle, the carrier's back in it and everything else, and new U-bolts. I've got to get shock bolts. You can get them from the hardware store, grade 5. They're fine. I'm more of a grade 8 kind of guy because if something happens, I'd rather have it shear off and whatnot, but some people don't really like to admit that one. Grade 5 is fine. They bend easier. Grade 8 will shear. Um, I just want to also say thank you for the new subscribers. I It's kind of tough getting videos throughout the week. I work 11-hour days really, and I'm pretty tired by the time I come home because I'm out in the elements and just want to spend time with my family and whatnot. But if you guys really enjoy this stuff, please comment, like, subscribe, whatever. It doesn't cost you a thing. It just kind of helps the channel grow, and we're gonna do a lot of random projects. Like I got to get the plow tractor back in and change the drive belts because the end of the last video that I made, I was plowing snow and the belts stretched and took out a fuel line and a wire, and yeah, it wasn't good. So I got to clean the carb on that, change the belts, and kind of just I'll go over that. It's simple stuff, but I just want to give you guys a kind of a bird's eye view of the kind of stuff I do. So I really, really enjoy everybody, all the interactions. I've if you watch some of my shorts, again, you get a kind of a cell phone view of what's going on. I was working on a John Deere that dropped a valve, and hopefully I have another short out soon, just kind of explaining how that goes. But enjoy the video. I'm doing my best with editing. Again, thank you guys. Thank you all. It really means a lot to me. So you guys have a good day, and I'll see you on the next video. Well, we're on the driver's side of the hub here. Well, it's going to be an Allen. There might be some schmutz in here. No. Alright. Now that I got the correct size, it's actually a Torx. Oh, if I can get these things to come loose. Get this thing up. These are going to be fun. They're definitely trying to strip themselves out. Not a good sign. So these bolts, I'm trying to get it to zoom in, they're actually tapered on the end. So basically why we're going to be struggling to get these ones out. I wonder, let me see if I got another socket. Ah, that's lovely. There's number 2 that's broke. What the hell? What the mess with that one?
I ended up taking my Torx bit and grinding off, getting it flat again. Now it's shorter, be a lot stronger to get these off. Now we got two kind of broken off. By taking the socket and smacking it, you're actually kind of shocking it, trying to break the rust loose, slash getting the socket all the way in there. See, now it's a struggle to get this thing out of there, so that's good. I like that. Looks like we got one. Let me see if I can find a magnet. Guess I'll get on the ground with you guys here. Sometimes they'll squeak their way out of there. Oh, she's kind of loose. Trying to come out. Keep in mind, we're just working with what we've got. I really don't want to walk outside to the service truck. Here we go. Got it. So since that's out, I'm going to sit here and struggle with this one for a second. Ah, there we go. That's good. That one bit in there really well. Let's see. Round two. Oh, yeah. Good deal. Pull our cap off. Oh yeah, you can tell she's been sitting for a while. It's crusty in there, so we're gonna take our time and make sure all this stuff works. We'll clean it up a little better here soon. Now we can actually kind of see what we're working with here. Let me get you guys in here so you can see this. This is what happens when you let your stuff sit. I knew that this thing was going to be a bear to get apart. So, luckily most of the stuff kind of free spins. Good, 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 good. Now there's a retainer clip that goes around this that can be a bit of a pain. So we're going to attempt get that thing freed up. I don't want to spray any schmatzy in there at the moment. There we go. Oh. me move you guys back here for just a second. Alright, now that I got it started, let me get you guys in a better position here. Just keep working your screwdriver around. You'll see the clip start to walk its way back. Just like that. There's your clip. And you can take one of your bolts, or two. You don't want to put pressure on these. These things are very brittle. You're gonna need two. Take your time, keep working it back and forth. Like we're gonna be subjected to putting a little penetrating oil in there. Really didn't want to spray a bunch of stuff in here, but it obviously needs it. What's going on here? Seems like it's hung up on the spline, so I'm going to get that out and I'll be ready. Alright, we're back. Got it starting to come out. I ended up having to tap on the center. Get it past this little rusty spot in there. As you can tell, it's going to fight us the whole damn way. Shoot. It's really going to fight us. Well, after some prying and dicking around, we've got our hub locker out. Take your time with these. I ended up noticing a little dinger in the single wheel casting, so I took a burr bit and just gently cleaned that area up and just took my time. Wiggle, 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 you know, and then come out. Excuse me. Still kind of sick. So now we've got both of our retaining nuts. There is a specialty socket for these. I don't have one anymore, which is no big deal. So we're probably going to end up using a punch and just gently bringing that off. And then we'll pull off our caliper. So there's two nuts. The outer one is going to be your locking one. The inner is going to be your adjustment one. Come on. Shouldn't be too crazy tight. Get a better lighting situation here. Outer one, locking. Then you should have a locking tab in here, which is like a washer with a bunch of holes in it. Might need a pick or something to help you get this one out of there. As you can see, a locking one. The other nut has little tabs on it. I'll show you what I'm talking about here. They're like a little pin. It helps you set the lock in a better position. Luckily the grease don't look bad in these. Keep in mind I'm doing this one-handed, so. There she goes. So this guy, oops, sorry about that. If you can see where my fingertip is, there's a little nipple. That's the guy that washer sits on. That washer has multiple adjustments to it. You can actually, when you're putting these back together, flip them, because it kind of changes your geometry on that. But other than that, we're ready to take the caliper off. I'm going to wipe my hands off here. Spray a little schmotzy on it. There we go, got a caliper off. And now we're going to pull our hub out and expose the spindle. And I believe they're the same bearing part numbers between them, between the dually hub and this. So if you're having a hard time getting bearings and whatever, it's fine. Now we're exposing the bastard child to get at the knuckle joints. Now they make a lot of specialty tools. I don't have them, but that's okay. First things first, spray those suckers down. You're gonna need heat on them so you don't snap the studs off. So right now, just taking the hub off. Should look like that. Your hub's out. You can see your bearings. You can actually get bearing numbers right off of those bearings, and races if you knock the races out, which we should be. In the meantime, I want to see this one, the outer bearings out of it. So we're gonna end up cleaning up this stuff when it comes time to pulling that side off. I'm gonna strip this side first, but we're gonna pull that side off here pretty quick. So we're gonna need heat, torch, map gas torch, something like this. It's gonna take you a while. A mini ductor, which my mini ductor's at work. And all we have to do is pull that plate off, and then it exposes the knuckle joint, and the knuckle joint just comes out. Then we're going to inspect and see if the inner tube seals are any good. There probably are. Even had to replace many of those, but if it's not, we'll take care of it now. Alright, so now that we've got the other side apart, it fought me just as bad as this side, believe me. You're going to find a socket for it. I believe it's 11/16. You want to find something that's going to run on it snug. A metric socket might work for you. You can see there's a little play there. I got our smoke wrench. We're going to get that thing fired up here. Good towel. It's a little bright. Just going to burn around some of the rust and whatnot. And then the bolt. torch out for a second here. Might have to tap a socket on some of these. It's kind of sloppy because the nuts are rusted. Well, I'm going to pause you there. I'm going to grab a different socket. Alright, I ended up having to grab a metric socket. Fit on there really well. When these cool off, you can kind of see it's rounded off now. When they cool off, might end up trying to find a new set of nuts for these. It's not a necessity as long as you can get them back on tight. The only other issue now is they actually sell 4 of these. It's a tube that fits over this and you're supposed to rock these off. What I like to do is I'll just sit here and kind of heat up around this and I'll just tap off the caliper bracket. That way this will come off. And this, honestly, you can really do this with the MAP gas torch. It's just going to take you twice as long. I don't need all those fancy tools. I really don't do this very often. It's been quite a few years. Keep in mind that this is cast iron, so if you get it off, just let it sit. Don't pull it off because you'll crack it or weaken it. I'm basically just warming it up to help it off. If you guys live in a rust belt, kind of like I do, this is kind of a must to have. Just get yourself a small set of torches if you're going to be doing this kind of stuff often. When I was working on customer vehicles, it was an absolute necessity to have. We're going to take our time and heat it up. We'll be back. Alright, well I think it's pretty well warm. You don't want to hit on the outside edge. Hit towards where it's stronger, closer here. So if you just keep tapping it, don't have to wail on it. Take your time. Steady pressures and hits. Also, don't touch. This is very hot. If you got a rag or something, go right ahead. Then from there you go. She's warm, but she ain't crazy hot. Now, this is out. Now it's easy to actually go in and change your U-joint, and it's going to be the same assembly process the other way. This is warm. Again, cast iron, both those pieces, just let it cool down on its own. Don't put anything on it to cool it down. It will crack it, it'll weaken it. Wipe my hand off here. Gotta clean the bitch mittens off every now and then. Let me grab a flashlight. Got this nice coast light. Love this thing. I'm gonna stick our head in here and see how bad our inner seals are. Yeah, they're not bad. I don't know if you guys can see that way down in there. But the seal itself isn't bad. What you're seeing rust-wise inside the tube, that'll get cleaned out. That's kind of normal. Other than that, it's not terrible. But we are going to be replacing these U-joints, and then we'll start putting our dually hub. Alright, since we got our shaft out, I want you guys to see just how crusty and nasty this thing is. What I like to do is I'll just use the torch. It's not like we're saving any of this. There's some clips in here that we're going to have to get in and knock out. I'm sure there's videos on that, but just for me, I like to get them as clean as I can before I start disassembling. Try not to smack this shield. That's like a dust shield. If you do, try and straighten it out because it'll start wearing like this. And if you do put it in four-wheel drive, you'll hear it, down the road. It's annoying as shit. Everybody stares at you like, what the fuck's wrong with your truck? So I'm going to get this side done. And when it's time to assemble, bring it back. I'm going to clean the axle tube out. The seals do feel really good on these, which is nice because they're still pretty rubberized. A lot of flexibility. I'm not worried about changing those. I think I'm more so concerned about the actual wheel seals than anything. But anytime you take them off, hubs wise, replace the wheel seals. It's not hard to repack bearings. I'll show you how to do that. Touch the long side. But as you can see, I've cleaned the axle up. I've got it in primer, and I only painted the sections like you really aren't going to see this part of it when the rotor and stuff is on it. That's fine. I've cleaned the axle shafts out. And how I did that, it's very easy. It's just, I went to the hardware store and picked up some of this rod. It really didn't matter what size. You can see I just tack welded a bristle brush to it. This one's wire. And then I welded a couple washers to this thing and kind of slightly offset it. Basically and the piece is long enough to where I can take the rod and get it all the way up here and get all the crappy crud out of it. You can see I left some on there just to kind of show you guys. And then from there, once you get all the crud out, I put this on my drill and I just ran it back and forth a few times, and that way I could clean the axle tube out. Yeah, it's going to leave a little bit in there. That's fine. but you can see, if I can get a good look in it, it's fairly clean. So I also put primer inside there. Those axle tubes are known to hold crust. You can kind of see just a buildup on this thing. We will be changing that. I'll show you how to change these joints. And other than that, I went outside the other day and I grabbed my my shock buckets, and I also grabbed a lower shock hanger, and we'll clean those up. I'll show you how I do those. I also forgot to mention I grabbed the factory brake line holders. We might not need them because I ended up purchasing front brake line extensions. These I mean, I know this video is coming out a little late, I'm sorry, been busy with life. These should fit into the factory brackets, which I'd love, because I don't want those things just sitting there flapping around. Other than that, new U-bolts, tie rod drag link. I've even got brand new brake calipers. And when I mean brand new, these are new. Bought them off a friend of mine. And they're fully loaded. So we got pads, slides, all the goodies. And I mean, I couldn't be happier with it. Let's find the slides. There they are. So a friend of mine has a newer axle in his truck. See, look at that, brand new slides. Pretty excited about that. But we got our rotors, we got U-bolts, we got brake calipers, wheel seals. I even purchased off Amazon. No, these were 20 bucks. Let's see if we can get it to zoom in. Placementkits.com, aftermarket parts you can trust. And if you're looking for the Napa number, they actually give it to you. It's a 15692. We're going to verify that these fit, but I liked these ones due to the cone shape of it to keep the oil in and the bullshit out. So, but I ended up prepping and cleaning the brake caliper brackets, prepping, cleaning, and changing the U-joint. If you remember that, we will clean up this little end of the shaft here. The only reason why I like to paint these is, again, if the truck sits, I don't want rust build up in there. And then if I go ahead and get the truck wash, and if it's, say, car show, truck show, whatever, show it off, I don't want a bunch of rust sitting in there, somebody nosing their face in there. It just makes you look like a putz. So in this video, we're going to end up pulling the carrier out. We'll just go through it real quick and make sure that it's all good to go. We got to change the pinion seal. But in the meantime, I want to paint and prep all of our brackets. So when it is time to put this thing in, by the end of this video, it'll be sitting in there. We'll have everything prepped. You know, I don't want to paint until I'm ready to paint. So best thing you can do, go to Taiwan Tool, get you this little needle scaler. These things are just a cat's ass, like 30 bucks. You can go on Amazon and get it too. These things help so much. So I'm gonna set you down. I will get this stuff all disassembled and cleaned, and I'll show you before I prime it what it's gonna look like. So just keep in mind, this is crusty. There's a lot of buildup. So I'll be right back. So I struggle with this one. I'm pretty sure the bushing's spinning in this, but we definitely have a smoke wrench and we're about to tell it to come out. You guys want to be careful too if you're heating these up. So if you're heating these up and you happen to get the body of this thing hot, it'll create a pinhole. This thing will start shooting flames out because of the oil that's in there and the gases. Use caution, please. I'd rather not hear a story about someone burning their garage down. Just as I presumed, it's stuck in the bushing. Use that. I gotta find my safety squints. I guess I didn't cut it far enough. Thick. There we go. Notice how I'm keeping the flame away from the actual shock tower itself. That's so I don't get a hole in it and cause a fire. And the only reason why I was using heat is to make my life easier when I go to get that off. There we go. So I'm gonna set that down so I stop trying to burn myself. Next is the fun part about getting the actual rubber bushing out of it. I'm gonna bring you guys in a little closer with this, just to show you the struggles of working on old stuff. It's hot. Be careful. She might come out of there now. So, I mean, if you're in this situation, you want to use a really sharp knife. If you can get the rubber out of there. This rubber is just old and decrepit anyways, so use caution. Again, it's hot. I've been doing this for 20 some years. I have no feeling left in my fingertips really. So now you can kind of see our inner bushing. That's usually what's going to fight you. It's just a fact of getting to it. And if you heat the bushing up enough, I'm not feeding the torch oxygen to cut through the bolt itself. I'm just heating up that sheathing just enough to tear it open. And like that, falls off. There you go. We got one out. Bon Jovi once said, "Oh, we're halfway there." I think we're gonna replace this bolt anyways. She don't look so good. But now I have the correct bolt. I can go off our shank where it's not worn through or even a thread size. Now I have a bolt to actually match up and get the correct bolt. And who knows, we might actually have a bolt from when we took the front end apart. So keep that in mind too. You don't always need to buy new stuff. That's again why I save a bunch of stuff. Like I have this one sitting here. It's pretty close. So when that cools, we'll play with it. That's what she said. Now we've got our bracket. So now what I'm gonna end up doing is get this thing kind of set up in the vise to where we can see what we're doing. Now we can use our needle scaler. I'll just go over this quickly. We're gonna do one side together. You're on your own on the other. This is the kind of flick I'm talking about. To where, let's see. That buildup is not what you want when you're actually bolting the axle in place. If you have spaces like this, you're not going to draw the axle in tight. Eventually this is going to break off and create, movement left or right and front to back in it, and it could be catastrophic. You can hurt yourself. So keep that in mind. That's why we're cleaning these brackets up and getting them ready. Okay, now that we can hear, because the air compressor is not going off, if you got a grinder, find you a flap wheel. We've got all the heavy scale off, and I just kind of want to smooth this out. I can feel some ridges on the edges, and I don't want that, because again, if there's any kind of movement, it's going to be because you didn't prep the surfaces. It'll shift the axle, and you're going to hurt yourself, the truck, other people around you. Take your time. Now that I got that done, also keep in mind, these are old brackets, man. Like they're gonna be warped, they're gonna be messed up. They ain't gonna look perfect when you paint them. They're gonna have ridges and bumps. But the best thing you can do is give yourself a fighting chance. Like this one's actually warped, like a U. So that's okay because the U-bolts sit here and here. That's why I went across it, because I want to make sure we get a flat surface. I don't want to feel any ridges on the edges, and that's where I care the most. So it's up to you. If you guys want to clean these brackets up, a better way, go right ahead. It's your money and your time. But for me, sometimes it's just best to give it a quick go around. So now I'm going to swap over to a wire wheel. And just try and get in here and clean it up a little more nice. 1, 2. The heavy scale is off, so you don't really have to hit it too crazily. Still trying to get over being sick and holidays and... Alright, so I got one bracket done. This is going to also imply for the shock tower buckets and whatnot too. Do you need a needle scaler? No. You could use a hammer, you can use a chisel. Start pounding on the chisel with the hammer like you're a caveman. Get the heavy scale off. There's a will, there's a way. You don't need fancy $1 million tools to do these kind of jobs. Well, since the garage looks like a Cypress Hill concert, we might as well keep it rolling. Both the brackets are prepped. I ended up grabbing our lower bracket. I cleaned that up too. I'm going to kind of sit there and hold it and spray paint it. I really don't think you guys want to watch me spray painting something, so the whole reason for doing these 3 brackets first is because we can slide the axle in after the primer is dry. You know, just get it in there, get it ready. But once those are clean, we're gonna pull that carrier out. So we're gonna do that here. All right, we're back at the carrier. The only way this is coming out is if the axle shafts are out. If I get my frickin' impact to work. Rule number 1, do not mix these caps up left or right. I'm going to grab a paint pen before I pull them off and mark the tops and what side they're on. That's if you're leaving it alone for a little bit and you can't remember. R for, you know, R words. Might have to give these a little wiggle. In a way, I'm glad I'm pulling this out because I just want to verify and double check everything. So with these axles, you're going to have shims in here. Pay attention to where the shims are. Okay? You could be a thousandth of an inch. You could hear, if you're off, say a couple thousandths, it's going to howl like a motherfucker. Excuse my language. Of course, it's going to fight the shit out of us, so that's cool. Grab a pry bar. Doesn't help that it's on a jack stand either, because, you know, can't get crazily aggressive with it. Let me put you on pause, I'll get it. Alright, after grabbing a pry bar, I was able to get under one of the bolts and kind of prop this side up. So I'm going to set you there. A little easier when it's in the truck kind of thing. See if we can get it. Trying not to lose the shims. There we go. Now our carrier's out. And I'm glad I did, because I wanted to check the bearing races as well. Get where I got squeezed out of there. They don't look bad. Bearings spin freely both sides. There is a way to ooh, yeah, somebody's been in here. These seals feel really good, but there's a lot of like gook and nasty shit built up in there. I just feel better replacing them and being done. So, let's find out what ring and pinion we got in this thing. Canada, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm gonna write that down on there. As for this, count it out with me, kids. Sesame Street. 1, 2, 3, 4, 46. 46. I just want to double check this one. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 13. Whoops. First day counting. Let's grab the shell phone, which when you're doing these, I'm not good at math, so don't expect me to be perfect here. 2 plus 2 equals, I think it's 13 divided by, whoops, 46. Whoops, we did that backwards. 13 gives us a 353 ratio, so that equates to 354 or 350. I'm sorry, 350 ratio. So if you're ever wondering, sitting in a junkyard, you got time, just trying to figure out what axles are going to work for you, 350. You know, division, divide those two together. That'll usually give you your ratio. So for now, move that thing out of the way. Be happy to clean those bearings out. So I'm going to kind of root around in here, See if we can pop this out. If not, I'll go through this way. Oh my god. Let me see. Let's see if we can set you guys up so you can see what the hell's going on here. Grab a hammer. See, it wasn't that easy. See all the crust and crud on these things? I didn't have to change these. It's just kind of a want to change these. So let's see. I'm gonna set that right there. Oh, that crud. Got our new one. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'll fucking take it. Well, I'm going to clean the tube out, get our other seal out. I'll bring it back for when it's time to install these. I'll show you my way of doing it. It might surprise you a little bit, which is basically, you know, you can use a piece of threaded rod with some washers or whatever. I usually just tap these in. Oh hell. Couldn't find my threaded rod tool. You don't need it. I've got 3 2x4s. I set the you know, the holder back in there, and I got a small pry bar. It's going to be kind of hard for me to do this, but let's see if we can get her. I'm going to use the better end of your judgment here. Oh, starting to go. I'll have to make a few adjustments here. So basically, I have a bunch of these 3/4 sockets, and these sockets sit inside this just like so, and it's just big enough to allow the seal lip to move around it. So I'd like to show you how this goes. I don't have a good stand or a way to show this, but just have a little faith. You're going to move the block around and you're going to kind of walk this thing in. So let me get this side in. Alright, so I got one side in, or one side's in. A lot of guys will put silicone around them. You really shouldn't have to. I don't have any issue with using it, kind of thing. But what they'll do is they'll set it around this edge here. But I just want to show you guys, you can do this without the specialty tools. You just need to take your time. So the other side is this side. I don't know why. It's just always been a pain in the ass for me to do them. We've got our socket. It's an 1 3/4 ling long special. Aroy. Let's see. Kairoy steel. Kairoy steel. So remember, horn towards the outside of the axle. This side. Ball peen hammer. It'll take you a little bit. Let's see, we're started. we're just kind of, I'm kind of hitting around this thing in certain spots. That's why when I pull away, I'm paying attention to what the seal's doing. That way it's kind of going in pretty straight. Not that LG, you know, Q plus minus. Oh yeah, she's going in good. Just like that. We are in. If you, I don't know if you heard the difference in the pitch. We're steel on steel, so it's like ping ping. So I might end up taking a little bit of silicone just around the edge of these. But then again, shouldn't have to, unless there's a problem with the casting itself. So new seals are in. Also, pay attention because this silver part, my fingertips at, that's a spring. Make sure that spring is in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean out the housing now. I'll get the carrier cleaned up, ready to go back in. I'll set it back in, and then we're going to end up having to retorque these. They're going to end up being, I believe it's 90 foot-pounds, if I remember right. But I'll verify that with a little Google search. So we'll do that. We'll clean out our vent tube, which is a little nipple guy up top, and we'll spin her around and we'll do the pinion seal, which should be just as easy. You can honestly do this rebuild in a weekend. I've been so dang tied up that it's hard for me to justify doing this in a weekend. Alright, well, inside the housing's cleaned out, ready to go. I don't hear any crunchy crunchies. This is loose, by the way, that's why you're hearing it kind of growl. But since the carrier's out, we're going to clean it up. I did see a bunch of like kind of rust buildup in these things. And just know, if you take your truck to a shop to have them flush the differential fluid, this is all they're doing. Brake cleaner the shit out of it and blow it out with air. So that's exactly what the hell we're gonna friggin' do. The only difference is this one's out of the damn truck. Clean, clean, clean. I am so high right now. It's going to take you a couple cans of brake cleaner to get this thing pretty well cleaned out. Oh yeah. Cry me a winner. She really doesn't look bad for sitting for so long. I've seen some pretty rusty, crusty crap come out of these trucks. Get the fuck out! Probably should just go open the garage door. I am woo. I think we're gonna do that. We're gonna take a slight breather here. Holy fuck. Looks like a lot of nope outside. So anyways, we're gonna get ready to set this back in. I'm gonna finish cleaning this real quick, and then we'll We're moving on to the pinion seal finally. I'm just trying to set you guys up so you can kind of see what I'm got going on here. For my axle, it's a 33 mil 6-point. Sometimes you get lucky and this thing kind of slides out. Sometimes. Let's get all of our parts and tooling together. Wow. Wow, look how nasty that is in there. And this, kids, is why we're changing it. So, I set the carrier back in. I thought I was smart enough to hit the record button, I guess not. Oh yeah, this thing's just roached. If you have a bar like this, even the small one, I usually try to just find the sweet spot with this damn thing. Look at that. Nice and easy. Get yourself a set of these. Sunex sells them. Amazon, I think they're like 60, 70 bucks. They will make your life easy because the other end of them is pointed. So now we can kind of get in here. Let me grab my light. You can see in the bottom of this, it was hard to tell. In the bottom of this is a hole. When this thing's slinging oil, there should be one at the top too, if I remember right. No. This thing's slinging oil. It needs a way to get the oil out and back. So that's what this piece here is. So I'm gonna clean this lip up. And I'll grab our new seal. I really didn't want to mess with this, with the carrier out, because this will just drop through and it's a pain in the ass to hold it, so I like to have the carrier in it. So always pay attention to what you're doing. I've done it enough to know better. Now that we've got the pinion seal out, the area is clean around it. I used some compressed air and whatnot and got a screwdriver tip in there and cleaned it up. We have our new pinion seal. Okay, so prop you guys up here. Let's get you guys in here a little bit. If it wasn't for trying to help everybody else learn how to do this stuff, I get pissed off at this damn camera in the fucking way. Anywho, what I have here is some Loctite gasket maker. It's flange sealant. Okay, I like this stuff, and I'm only putting it, say, around these edges. Not a lot, very little. Let's see if we can get. I just like to make sure that I've had these ones walk out for some reason over the past years. It's a really small, thin amount. we're gonna wipe the excess off, so don't worry about it if you got a little too much on it. I'll rob some of them off the back. Okay. What I have here is a socket just laying around. It's just large enough. They make proper tools for the proper job. My broke ass doesn't want to buy that. Double check. Look at that, she's in. Perfect. What I'm gonna do, just to keep the seal from getting messed up. Don't worry about it, there's a little bit of paint on these. Clean that off a little bit. There we go. Good enough. You want to kind of clean that anyways. I already did. So now we're going to put our yoke back on. I'm going to use a little bit of this gasket maker because it is technically a bit of a Loctite. Once the air or air's out of it, it turns into a Loctite anyways. Don't forget your washer. Pay attention to which side goes where. Give her a little tap tap. Just as a forewarning, inside here is a crush collar. I've gotten away with not having to change that crush collar. Everybody's like, oh no, change it, change it. You don't really have to. Just be mindful when you're tightening this nut that you don't crush it any further than it has to be. You'll feel / hear the tone difference in this. Don't have to wail on it, just get it snug. Did you hear that? You hear that it stopped? That means it's tight. Don't go no crazy. That's why we got the Loctite on the threads. Spins really nice. And the best part is with the primer behind all this stuff, it's not going to rust and corrode and push it into the seal and blow the seal out, so you have to do it again in 10 years. So other than that, get her with the little. There we go. Your pinion should be good. Now we've got all new seals in it. Our next step is after our other paint dries up there, we're gonna swing it in. I'm super pumped about it too. I should take the original track bar off. It's kind of a kickstand right now, you know. It's like a mini me, you know. So, anywho, I am gonna let this paint dry and get ready to go. We're gonna get her swung in, get her ready to rock, and once we get it bolted in and sitting in there, we'll reinstall our axle shafts and the spindle hubs and everything else. So, fuck a duck. It's time to put the axle in. If you have help, get it. If you're not strong, definitely get the help. I got the old track bar off. We got a little mishap there, but it's not a big deal. We'll take and we'll weld that and then put a washer on it, weld the washer around it. But I'll set you down. Let's start this fucking shit show, huh? First, let's get this thing off the jack. Watch me struggle. I did end up getting a new light. It's actually a Coast light. This thing is stupid bright. Get a nice clip, so now I can stop getting yelled at that you guys can't see what I'm doing. Oh, hey, the pitman arm we didn't put the nut on. All right, and that was in real time, so definitely that took like 2 minutes, literally. So I'm gonna get our brackets that we painted, the U-bolt's ready, and we'll come back. We're back under it. We've got our brackets. I'm gonna kind of prop you guys up here. So we got a clear line of view. We got our lower bracket. This only goes on one way. Just follow the curvature of the axle itself because of this piece. So, just saying. As for that, our upper shock mount, we're going to place that right over the hole where the pin comes through on the axle itself, or the U-bolt, I should say. Remember, shock mount out, because the other end of the shock mount goes up and down. I'm going to place our U-bolts in, kinda. The other one I'm going to set there for a second. Plenty long on our U-bolts, thank God. This one came with washers, so we're going to end up using washers on it. Probably should grab a little oil, because a wet torque is better than a dry torque. But just for now, I'm going to set this one up there, and then I'll grab the oil. Penetrating oil, whatever, stuff like that works really well. 1540, 1030, whatever kind of oil you got. It's just something to keep it lubricous. Before we paint the axle, we're going to end up prepping the axle one more time. Just wipe it down. Clean up a couple scratches I put in it because I'm an idiot. Drop this one a little bit. Just needs a little tiny bit of oil in there. Now you can use your old U-bolts if you're in a pinch, but definitely always replace your U-bolts because it's a high stress point. These things will literally stretch. So what I'm going to do now is just snug it up. I'm not crazily tightening them. I do that when everything's in place. And we'll actually torque them in a proper sequence. So this side's good. That looks good. Everything's straight. And you should have something kind of like that. Everything's nice and straight, perpendicular, looks good. So now we're going to go to the other side and put that side on. Alright, we're on the passenger side. Same thing. It's not difficult, it just takes a little time. And in the meantime, I'm going to put a little bit of schmutz on these threads. I ended up picking up these U-bolts off of Amazon. They look great. They're very square. A lot of times I used to have to go to an actual like leaf spring shop just to get these made back in the day. I'm still waiting on a couple of parts, like the lift shocks. I think they're like a Bilstein 10-inch, if I read that correctly. It's been a while since I've been in the lifting truck game here. I got out of building trucks. I was building cars and motorcycles and trying to get into road racing. But then I was stupid and bought a pulling tractor. Oh, it won't be that expensive. It was that expensive. Same thing with this side, just snug it up. We'll pull our jacks out. Oh, that's right in the way. Right in the damn way. So, obviously we have a lot of thread left on these. The socket's only so deep, it's literally bottoming out. So I'm going to grab a wrench and just snug those up by hand. There we go. Well, this side's already down. Let's lower this side down. I gotta prop you up here for a second. There we go. She's sitting in her home. So, in the next video, I'm gonna end up installing our seat or axle shafts. That's one of them there. Waiting on tie rods, the proper tie rods. Once we get all the correct parts, well, I'll show you guys how to measure your tie rods. I know those ones are still good, but I just don't like that the boots are all tore and been sitting around forever. So again, we're doing this one time. Other than that, everything moves freely. I got our new grease zerks in the top here. Really appreciate you guys hanging out. Sorry this video took a little while. Between two big snowfalls and cold weather and work, you know, this is kind of like a second full-time job. I'm spending a lot of money to try and get at least this truck done for the spring. So again, I really appreciate everybody. Please like and subscribe if you can. It doesn't cost you a dime, and it's eventually going to help fund cool projects like this so I can show you guys how to do stuff. So till the next one.